This is the tragic aftermath of the devastating crash that killed Liverpool star Diogo Jota after his Lamborghini careered off a road in northern Spain. The Portuguese forward died in the early hours of Thursday morning while he was travelling near Zamora with his fellow footballer brother Andre, who was also killed in the crash. The Lamborghini's tyre is believed to have blown out while overtaking on the A52 by the town of Cernadia. The supercar came off the road, rolled and then burst into flames just after 12:30 a.m. on Thursday. The emergency services were called, but the brothers could not be saved. Shocking footage shows the charred remains of the supercar flipped over on the side of the main road, with emergency crews seen investigating nearby. Video obtained by Spanish media shows the car's trajectory until it left the road and crashed into a fireball. This is the tragic aftermath of the devastating crash that killed Liverpool.
Was from FA in Spain. They are reporting that the Liverpool and Portugal forward, Diogo Jota, has died after a car crash in the northwest of the country. Diogo Jota, who has been playing for Liverpool since he signed from Wolverhampton Wanderers in September of 2020, said to have died in that car incident. It's not clear at this point whether or not he was the only individual in the car. The only detail we have is that he has died in that crash in the northwest of Spain. Jota, who scored 16 goals for Liverpool, playing 67 times for them in the previous 2 seasons, has also won the Premier League, of course, last season, won the FA Cup for Liverpool in 2022, as well as the Carabao Cup in 2022 and 2024. Now, he was signed by Liverpool, as I said, in September of 2020, moving there from Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he'd been hugely successful and really established Wolves as a Premier League club, a very versatile forward, play all the way across the front line. He originally began his career out in Spain at Atletico Madrid before moving on to Wolves, making a number of appearances, scoring some 17 goals as they moved up from the Championship into the Premier League. He spent a year on loan as well in Porto to try and establish himself as a player. And he has now, or had now established himself as a player for both Liverpool and for the Portuguese national side, which has, of course, looked to move on with Cristiano Ronaldo getting older and older. This news that Diogo Jota has died has been received with great sadness, not only by those Liverpool fans, but of course those Portuguese fans as well. Diogo Jota, just a young man dying in a car crash in the northwest of Spain. No further details yet as to exactly the situation when involving Mr. Jota and whether or not he was the only individual in the car.
We've got some incredibly tragic news, and that is that Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota has died in a car accident in Spain.
Sky Sports News have received confirmation of Jota's death from the Guardia Civil in Zamora, where the accident took place. He was 28 years old. Jota has been playing in England since 2017 when he joined Wolves from Atletico Madrid, and he joined Liverpool in 2020, becoming a key player for the side, winning the FA Cup, League Cup and, of course, the Premier League last season.
Yeah, he had 49 caps for Portugal. He was part of that squad that won the Nations League this summer, just not very long ago at all. And making this even more tragic, he was only married last month to the mother of his 3 children. So he leaves behind a newlywed wife and 3 children as well. In terms of his Premier League record, 190 league appearances. That's for Liverpool and for Wolves, 63 goals. And famously, he scored 8 minutes into his Liverpool debut back in 2020.
Yeah, Jota was born in Porto in December of 1996 and started his career at his local club, Pacos de Ferreira, before he moved to Atletico. A loan move to Porto came before he made a name for himself at Wolves, initially on a loan before making the signing permanent. He was a major reason that they were promoted and continued to excel in the Premier League before Liverpool signed him, where he established himself as a vital member of that incredibly successful team.
Yeah, and in terms of his honours as a player, which is nowhere near as significant as he was as a person, of course, but as a player with Wolves, when he signed there in the Championship and he won the Championship with Wolves, that was the 2017-2018 season. As for with Liverpool, he won the Premier League just a few months ago. He won the FA Cup in 2022, the EFL Cup in the same year as well. Here he is, lifting the Premier League trophy just back in May. And as for Portugal, he's won the UEFA Nations League twice. I said how he'd won it earlier on this summer. He also won it back in 2019 as well.
Liverpool footballer Diogo Jota has unfortunately passed away at the age of 28 after his Lamborghini slipped off a road in northern Spain, and this is just 2 weeks after he married his childhood sweetheart. The Portuguese forward was travelling in the supercar with his fellow footballer brother Andre, 26 years old, who unfortunately passed away at the crash as well. It's believed that his tyre blew out whilst he was overtaking on the A52 around 70 miles west of the historic city of Valladolid. The car came off the road, crashed, and then burst into flames in the early hours of this morning. Now, Jota had just married the mother of his 3 children and described himself as the luckiest man in the world to be her husband. The incident occurred on the A52 in the province of Zamora. The road in Spain is a key route taken by drivers leaving northern Portugal. Emergency services in the Castilla and Leon region confirmed the crash and 2 fatalities at around 12:35 a.m. on Thursday morning. The Portuguese national football team have said they are devastated by the death of Liverpool forward Diogo, adding that he was not only a fantastic player with almost 50 caps for the national team, but also an extraordinary person who was respected by all his teammates and opponents. Super sad situation, man. Rest in peace to both of these guys. It's a super sad day for any football fans. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments and make sure you follow Honcho's House for more updates.
And some very sad breaking news. The Liverpool footballer Diogo Jota has been killed in a car crash just 2 weeks after he tied the knot. The 28-year-old Portuguese forward died in the crash in northwestern Spain, according to a Spanish news agency report. GB News sports presenter Paul Coit joins us now. Paul, terrible. Just 28, his football career still years ahead of him, but almost so poignantly married just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's shocking, Andrew, and the pictures that he put on social media, that he'd only just got married. You know, he'd played for Liverpool. Liverpool had won the title. It'd been a very successful season for them. The summertime is the time where they get to relax before they go back to training, which is going to be just about a week away. And, you know, what more can you say? It's just horrendous news. It's terribly sad. It's awful news for football. We've got a 28-year-old man in the prime of his life, and it really is a shock. It's just awful news. I only just found out about it just 5 minutes ago.
And Paul, help us out here. Just how significant a footballer was he? Was he a big part of the Liverpool team, which, as you say, won the Premier League last time?
Huge, incredibly talented footballer. Signed for a Portuguese international, signed from Wolves, went to Liverpool, won title there, and just a really excellent player. And it's just such a huge shock. This is really going to reverberate. This is not going to be just where we hear that even famous people pass away. This is going to be enormous. And it's going to affect Liverpool greatly. I mean, it really is. Just honestly, it's really difficult to come to terms with. I'll come back on as soon as I get back. I mean, I'm just on the road now at the moment. Yeah. As soon as I get back home, and then we can probably talk a little bit more a bit later.
Sure.
About Diogo and his career, etc. But it really is. It's just hard to believe it's happened.
And Paul, for those people who are listening on the radio, we're just showing a photograph of the footballer.
Yeah.
He'd not just got married 2 weeks ago, he had a young family, 2 young children, which makes it all the more tragic and poignant.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, that's the main thing. It's talking about the fact that he's famous, talking about the fact that he's an excellent footballer, but it's a young man in the prime of his life with kids. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It really is.
All right, that's the GB News Sports presenter Paul Coit, and we'll bring you more on that story as it comes up.
Diogo Jota was reportedly driving to get a ferry at the time of his fatal Lamborghini crash after the Liverpool star was advised against flying back to Britain. The Portuguese forward was travelling in the supercar with his younger brother Andre when its tyre blew and it careered off the road at Cernadilla near Zamora in the early hours on Thursday. However, CNN Portugal reported that medics advised Jota not to catch a plane after a recent operation, so he was taking a ferry instead. The channel's sports editor Rui Lara said today, the surgery he had had was lung surgery and he had been advised against flying following this. He was on his way to the northern Spanish port city of Santander to cross the ferry and reach the UK that way and carry on with the car once he reached Britain. He was on his way to Liverpool with his brother. Diogo Jota was reportedly driving to get a ferry at the time of his fatal
The most
Lamborghini.
heartbreaking story right now. Diogo Jota, the talented forward of Liverpool and the Portuguese national team, has just passed away in a tragic car accident a few hours ago. In the early morning of July 3, 2025, Diogo Jota and his younger brother, Andre Silva, were driving a Lamborghini. They had just returned from a short vacation, chatting cheerfully about family and life. Jota simply wanted to drive fast, not out of recklessness, but because he couldn't wait to get home to his newlywed wife, whom he had married just days ago. But then, in a split second, the car lost control at high speed, veered off the A52 highway, crashed through the barriers, and tumbled down the slope before erupting into flames. A fire lit up the quiet night sky. Rescue crews arrived quickly, but it was already too late. Two young souls, full of dreams and hope, would never return. Diogo Jota, 28 years old, with his gentle smile and fierce, determined play style, ended his journey in the cold sigh of fate. Goodbye, Jota. Sleep well. You will never be forgotten.
Diogo Jota passes away aged just 28 after news coming out of Spain of a car crash in the early hours of this morning. His brother with him as well. I just don't know what to say. Got married, just a few days ago. 3 kids. Horrendous. Absolute horrendous.
Yeah, I feel sick, mate, to be honest. It's hard to speak about anything else, isn't it, when you hear news like that. And, it's only a couple of weeks ago he was playing for Portugal.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, horrible news, mate. Horrible.
It's a pat.
Querida Ruth, querido Diogo, hoje é dia que marcará a vossa vida para o resto. Porque este é o único dia em que vocês conseguiram juntar, na mesma hora, no mesmo local, os vossos familiares, os vossos amigos, para celebrar aquilo que de verdade importa, que é o amor.